When dealing with headless CMSs, the usual workflow would be to connect to REST API or use GraphQL to get the data from the API and display it on your frontend. If you're using Next.js or some other SSR framework, with Payload CMS you can take advantage of a feature called Local API. Local API allows you to get the data directly on the server and then display it on the frontend, which means that you don't need to deal with server latency or network speed and can interact directly with your database. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Next.js and Payload to run on the same server, kind of like a monolith app, and then how to use Local API to get and filter the data. For this demo, we are going to be using official Payload Next template from GitHub. Of course, you could set this up yourself, but that is not a trivial task. So for the sake of time, we are going to be using this. Go to GitHub, click on code and copy the path to this GitHub repo. In your terminal, do git clone and then paste the path to the repo. At the end, add the name of your project. I'm going to call mine Payload Next. Now cd into it and make sure that you're running at least 16 point something version of Node. Create .env file by copying .env.example file like this. Let's open this project in our code editor and then open the newly created .env file. First, just add a random string for payload secret variable. Next, add your MongoDB connection to the MongoDB URI variable. If you don't have MongoDB running on your local environment, check the previous video for some ideas. I'm using Docker image of MongoDB for this demo. Now let's do npm install to install all the dependencies. If you get an error like I did, run npm install with legacy peer deps flag. Now just run npm run dev and we should be good to go. If you go to localhost 3000 in your browser, you should be greeted with the 404 page. Not to worry, we will fix that later. For now, let's go to the localhost 3000/admin. This is where Payload admin UI lives. Create an admin account and you should get to the admin dashboard. We are getting 404 on the front page of our application because we didn't set up a home page. Luckily, we can seed the database with that data to get rid of that error. Or you can create a home page manually. I'm going to go with the seed option in this demo because I also want to seed the products, colors and sizes that we are going to be filtering with the local API. Before we seed the database, we need to create the necessary collections. First, I'm going to create colors collection. Create a file called colors.ts inside the collections folder and add this code to it. Check the previous video if you don't understand what is going on here. In short, we are just creating colors collection with one field called name. Next, create file called sizes.ts also in the collections folder and add this code to it. It's pretty much the same as colors.ts. Now we are going to create products collection that is going to be using sizes and colors as relational fields along with product specific fields. In the collections folder, create a file called products.ts and add this code to it. This is a very simple collection which consists of name and price fields with two relational fields that are going to reference colors and sizes. Great, now all we need to do is register these collections in payload.config.ts file. Now we are ready to seed the database. If you want to follow along with this video, you can copy index.js file from seed folder from the code used in this video. The link will be in the description below. By doing this, you will seed the database with 30 products, a few colors and sizes, along with the homepage of our site. To see the database, first stop the server and run it again, so that we have all collections implemented. Stop the server again and run npm run seed. If you go to localhost 3000, we don't have 404 error anymore, but more importantly, in the admin UI, you should now see colors, sizes and products that we seeded. Cool, now we can start using this data in Next.js with local API. Since Payload fully supports TypeScript, it would be nice to add typings for products, colors and sizes, so that we can use it in our Next.js app. With Payload this is super easy, but we just need to set up the command first. Add this code to your package.json file under the scripts object. Now in your terminal run npm run generate types. And our types will be automatically generated. You can check payload types.ts file to see if the generated added our types. And sure enough, they are here. Products, colors and sizes. Nice. Create products.tsx file inside pages folder. First I'm going to import everything I need. Two things are interesting here, and those are payload from payload, which we will use to initiate local API, and also product type that we just generated. Next, I'm going to create our component using product props and prepare our products for display. Nothing too fancy here, we are just mapping through the products that we are going to get from payload and displaying name, price, color and sizes. Now it's time to get our data. Remember, local API is only usable on the server, so we need to make our request for the data in the get server-side props. And in here, we can query our products and send them to our component, like this. So here I'm using payload function that I imported to find all the products and limit them to 30 results. Limit property comes in very handy when you're developing pagination for your lists. Only thing we need to do now is send the products to our component like this. Before we check this in browser, I will just add a bit of CSS to style.css to make this look a bit prettier. Okay, now let's check it out in the browser. Great, we are getting our products with only a few lines of code. This is nice, but local API is so much more powerful than this. Getting just a list of products wouldn't be very useful if we couldn't filter it in some way. To filter the products, we can use where property. Say for example that you want to get just the products that cost less than $100. We can do that by doing something like this, where price is less than 100. So we use a where property and then say that the price should be less than 100. And sure enough, now we get only those products that have a price less than 100. To access nested properties like color or size, we would write something like this, where colors.name equals green, for example. Now we should get a list of products that have a green color in the colors options array. But what if we want to get products that have price less than $100 and have a green color option? Easy, we can write our query within an AND array, like this. Now we are getting products that have a price below $100 and color option of green. You can also use an OR array. And not only that, you can nest AND in it, so you can do some pretty complicated queries, kind of like this. Now we are displaying products that either have red color option or they have XS size option and are less than $100. Very powerful stuff. You can take a look at all the options that you have available in the documentation. And also keep in mind that these filters are not available only in the local API. You can use similar syntax when doing GraphQL queries and even REST queries. But for them, it's best to use QS package to stringify your queries so that they don't look shitty. Of course, local API is not only used for getting and filtering your data, you can also very easily use it to create, update and delete items. Local API is also used for authentication, for logging in user, resetting passwords and so on. I can't cover everything in this video, so check out the docs if you're interested in other aspects of local API. So anyway, this has been it for this video. Everything we did here will be available for you on GitHub. The link will be in the description below. Thank you guys for watching and I will see you in the next one.